Hello, my beautiful little boys and ghouls. So today we're going to do a quick, hopefully quick, getting ready with me using, as promised, the Maelstrom palette from De'Lanci Cosmetics. I've been looking at this palette for a while and I wanted to check that out. So these are the shades that we're working with today. And I have already primed and set my eyes. I used the Urban Decay primer potion for my base, and then I just put a somewhat neutral shadow over my eyes just to give these shadows their best shot and see how well they work. I am going to start by dipping into the shade Wasteland, which is the burnt orange shade in this palette. And I am taking it on just this little Tarte mermaid brush, and we're going to start putting that into our crease and fluffing it above. Wow, right off the bat, that is super pigmented, but it is quite pretty. That's just from a quick dip in the pan, but holy pigment, it's gorgeous, and it's blending out quite nicely. There is some kickback in the pan too, just so you guys know. I want to say something real quick. And I got my first, I guess, hate comment, which I expected. I don't have real thin skin, but there is one thing I want to say, because the comment was very much a personal attack. It had nothing to do with the video itself. It had to do with my appearance and how I looked. Now, I know I'm not your average beauty, but that doesn't stop me from loving makeup. And it doesn't really mean that people should be just straight up nasty. You can say constructive criticism. You can click off the video. You don't have to say really ugly things. And this person said something that was really ugly. I'm all about positivity here. I do makeup because I love it and I think it's fun. Just taking a little blending brush and blending the edges out on this. I do it because I love makeup, not because I think I'm the most beautiful person in the world, but I'm all about body positivity. I'm all about being positive and accepting people as who they are, and I don't think there's any reason to come at someone just because you don't find them attractive. I'm all about people's personality as well. There may be people that I don't find to be the most beautiful people in the world, but I don't feel the need to be nasty to them. So yeah, there's that. Just if you feel like you need to say something so nasty to someone, and this goes on other people's videos too. I've actually stood up for other people on their videos. There is zero reason to be so disgusting and say something so hateful towards someone for absolutely no reason whatsoever. You can just click off a video. It's as easy as that. So this is the shade Wasteland. It is definitely pigmented, which of course you guys know I love pigmented shadows, so I have no issue with that. We are going to go ahead and we're going to dip into the shade. Let's see. We're going to dip into, I didn't plan this out. We're going to dip into Dark Horse, which is this kind of rainbow reflective black shade. And we're going to take that just on a tiny little pencil brush. This is the little Tarte Minutes to Mermaid as well. And I want to be really careful with this. There really wasn't as much kick up with that shade. But I'm going to take and I'm going to try to lay this down in the outer corner of my eye and bring it up through the crease. Now this one does not seem to be applying as well, but it could be the brush. I use this brush for control, but it's not always the best brush for application. That is that shade Dark Horse. Like I said, there is not as much kick up in the pan with this one. I'm just going to get my shape with this brush, and then I'll go in with another brush to try to get the pigment on there better, because right now it's looking very patchy. But I don't think it's the shadow. I think it's the brush. So let's go ahead. We're going to switch it out with this little guy here. This is a brush from My Glam. It was Ipsy before Ipsy was Ipsy. And I've always liked these little brushes, so I do continue to use them. That definitely works a lot better for this shadow. If you couldn't tell, we're going to do a kind of heavier smoked look today. But yeah, that blended that out a lot better. It is definitely black. There's no wondering on this guy, let me tell you, because some black shades kind of blend away into a much lighter shade, but this definitely stays quite true to color. Wow. So yeah, super pigmented, and they seem to be quite blendable as well. So far, definitely so good. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, you guys. Hopefully I don't. Sorry. I told you before, you're gonna get nothing but real out of me, and if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but maybe this isn't the place for you. So that is the shade Dark Horse. Again, very pigmented. It is very true to color. I'm gonna use a blending brush to blend that out again. It's just a typical little fluffy tapered blending brush. This one doesn't have a number around it or anything. It came from a little Christmas time gift set, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And they're not bad little brushes, so I continue to use them. Plus, I'm really, really bad about washing my brushes. I have all my brushes that I use normally in a little cup right now, and they're waiting to be cleaned because I just haven't gotten to it. I'm going to take that same little brush, and we're going to dip into the shade Rice Paper, which is right here. It is the red, the matte red shade in this palette. There is quite a lot of kickback in the pan, but oh my goodness, it is pigmented. That is beautiful. And then I'm going to follow slightly along the black in the crease. Wow. That is super pigmented. That was just from dipping my brush in the palette one time, and I was able to do the whole eye. Kind of love that, just saying. Holy smokes. That is awesome. That is definitely awesome. Going back in with my blending brush, just to kind of make sure I have all the shadow off of there. My goodness, this is pretty. This is definitely a pretty shadow. Now, it did, over the black, it really did not go over where I had the black. I should have definitely done a cut crease, but honestly, I hate doing them. So we're just going to roll with it. So that's what we have so far. We're going to dip into one more shade because I want to highlight my inner corner. And we're going to dip into the shade Mermaid. This shade looks so pretty. So this is a pink metallic shade. Probably wasn't the best choice, but okay. We're going with it anyway. As we always do in here. That is really, really pretty. It is a lot more pigmented than I thought it was going to be from when I swatched it. When I swatched it, it looked like it was going to be a bit lighter, but it's still pretty. I got shadow on my nose. So that is that shade Mermaid. And then we're going to dip into Era to highlight our brow bone. It's just a shimmery nude shade. But it comes off, it actually has a bit more of a pinky cast to it than I thought it did. And no, that's not because I'm using the same brush. I did use my color switch off camera. It definitely has, it's a nude shade, but it has a much pinkier tone to it on application. Wow. Either that or everything else is blending into it. I think I'm going to lay some white over that, but there's not a white in the palette. So we're going to go in with our old favorite, Urban Decay Polyester Bride. Just because I want it to be a bit lighter there at the brow. Just laying that right over Era. And that definitely looks better. At least in my opinion. My opinion is not anyone else's, and I am completely okay with that. I play in makeup because I love it. And because I think it's fun and it's creative. And we're going to do, let's do a purple under the eye. Since there are some really pretty purples, we're going to dip into the shade Tempter, which is right here. I try to keep the plastic over the mirror when I show it to you guys. That way, it kind of helps with the reflection on the mirror. Oop, there is some fallout from this brush, but that's the brush again. That is why we do not have any face products on other than moisturizer. And this shade is really pretty as well. There is a shimmer to it, which I am completely fine with. I feel like there's no rules when it comes to makeup. Just do whatever you like to do. And honestly, I like to do some pretty crazy looks. Which is why this palette spoke to me. It's on a much darker note. But it has some beautiful colors in it. So there's our shadow. I don't know if you can see the kickback that is on my face. It's only bad on one side though, so that's not a big deal. And like I said, it just means maybe not do your face makeup before you do your shadow. And let's go ahead, we're going to go in and have some fun, and we're going to use the pressed glitter in this palette. Let me find my... We are going to use a glitter glue that I put behind where I'm leaning my phone. That was smart, wasn't it? I'm taking a concealer brush. This is, let's see, the It Cosmetics Essential Concealer Brush number 212. And I'm using that to apply my glitter glue. And I'm going to apply that right over the red rice paper shade. And kind of essentially creating a cut crease over the shadow. I just didn't think the glitter would be completely opaque if I didn't lay down a shadow underneath it. Trying to be quite careful with this glitter, and we are going to go back in with our black and deepen it up. But this is a really pretty pressed glitter. It is definitely not completely opaque, like I would definitely recommend putting down a color underneath it if you want it to be completely opaque. I know I just used that word like 3 times, but I couldn't think of another one in the moment, so yeah. Again, going in with that glitter glue just over the rice paper shade. I always use a little brush that I don't generally use too much. I have like a designated brush for my glitter glue because it does, obviously, it's glue. It sticks the bristles together. And it's gonna give you a hard time with your brush if you don't clean your brushes. So I just kind of keep a designated brush just to use for glitter. Again, dipping in with my finger into that pressed glitter. I did get some under my eye, but that's okay. I just wanted to see how the glitter would perform throughout the day, so we will do a check-in at the end of the night. But for now, we're just going to get this video out. Now, sometimes I will go over the pressed glitter with glitter glue again, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I kind of want to wear it and see how well it wears. I'm trying to get some of that glitter off the bottom lash line. I want to try to see how well it wears without putting a glitter glue over the top of it. Sometimes that'll help you keep from having too much glitter fall out. So this is what we have with the shadows. This is the Maelstrom Maelstrom eyeshadow palette from De'Lanci Cosmetics. It is really pretty. The glitter does look very, very nice. The shades blended beautifully. They were all nice and pigmented with the exception, of course, of the glitter. I do like my glitters to have a more opaque base. But it's not a big deal because it does go nicely over one of the shades in the palette. I'm just going to go back in real quick to Dark Horse and deepen up my black from where I put the glitter. That's what we're working with today. Trying not to get it over the glitter too much because if I do, it's going to really stick into that glitter from where we laid down the glitter glue. Again, these opinions are not going to be the same experience everyone has, but I am so far quite enjoying this palette. It is pigmented. It is very nice. They're super blendable. Let's go back in just a little bit with Wasteland and just define that color a little bit, as we lost some of it when we applied our highlight shade. Again, this is a straight up first impressions. All I did was swatch this palette when I got it in yesterday, which you guys saw if you watched it. So this is an actual straight first impressions. This is the first time I'm trying this on brushes, on my eyes, anything. But so far, so good. I do really like it. I am going to see how it wears throughout the day and see if we end up liking what happens throughout the day. Like, how bad does it crease? How bad does the glitter fall out? Because we know there's going to be at least some. We're going to go in with, actually, let's use our favorite burgundy liner today, if I can find it real quick. This is the ColourPop Best O Burgundy, what's it actually called? Cream Gel Liner. This is a really, really pretty burgundy color liner. And since we're all reds and purples and dark colors today, we're just going to keep it in that vein. And we'll use a burgundy liner too. I use this liner a lot when I do red looks, actually, just to keep the shadow looking a little more bold, so it's not just like a bold black underline. I don't know why, I just like it. So there we have our waterline, and we'll go ahead and go in and do a wing. I'm trying to decide what I want to use for my wing. I think I'm going to use a liquid liner. We'll go in with the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. I feel like a liquid liner is going to work better over that glitter. But we're going to start, I usually start lining in the corner of my eye, but because of the glitter, I'm going to start back here and line along the black first, so we don't pull that glitter through the liner, because I'm scared I'd pull the glitter through the liner. We'll find out here in a moment if that happens or not. Just laying down the base of my wing, as I did want to do a wing with this look today. So that's our little baby wing. It's not too thick. I may go back in and darken it up, but for now, that's what we're going to work with. I do like using a liquid liner, but you do have to be careful, as it can transfer very easily. I probably am going to go back in and thicken this wing up, but we're going to go with that for now and just get the rest of our liner on and see what happens. See if it transfers or pulls the glitter, because that is what I'm really worried about. And here go the doggies. I'm so sorry. Apparently I should have stopped before the liner. It doesn't seem to be pulling the glitter. I don't have like a lot of glitter on my brush. It is pulling a little bit along the line itself, but it's not really transferring too badly to the brush, which is what I was concerned about. I didn't want it transferring onto the brush too much. And honestly, the liner's covering the glitter quite nicely. It's pulling through quite nicely. I know the wings look a bit of a mess today, but I am not going to try to fix them on camera or even do mascara on camera. I'm going to do that off camera today. I really just wanted to play with the shadows. So for the moment, this is our most of our look for today with the De'Lanci Maelstrom palette. I am really liking the way the shadows performed, and it seems like the glitter is going to perform quite nicely as well. But I will check in tonight when I get home from work. I always like to do my wear tests when I go to work. That way I know how they perform on a regular day-to-day basis. So I am going to go ahead and jump off here and finish up my makeup, and I will check in with you guys later tonight. If you want to see the finished look, though, before it's destroyed, you'll be able to check my Instagram a little while later tonight. I love you, beauties. Mwah.